Chatting with the voice of rugby league, Rabsy Warren, thanks to Avro Meadowland. G'day, Rabsy. How are you, mate?
I'm doing okay.
Well, I'll tell you what, mate, what a change of scenery we had last Friday night at Brookvale Oval. I mean, we all thought that the Bulldogs were going to do a bit of a job on Manly. It was a wet track, and it was the complete opposite.
Yeah, it was. I thought you were talking about the change in weather pattern. The two games were played in Sydney, and the match at Manly was on a quagmire. And then if you looked at the telecast that came afterwards from Parramatta Stadium, it was just absolutely a perfect pitch. The Manly win doesn't surprise me at all, to be quite frank with you. I said at the start of the year I think we might have a repeat grand final of last year. I've got no reason to change that forecast. Canterbury's good. Don't get me wrong, I'm not underestimating Canterbury, but that Manly side, it's just so experienced, and it's almost like they have a permanent invitation to go to the grand final, isn't it?
Yeah, do you think it is like when you actually go to Brookvale Oval, do you think Manly actually lift another 10 points?
Yeah, I think that's true to a point, but they used to call it the Fortress, and if you look at their record in more recent times, over the last couple of years, that's very inaccurate. Their record of win-loss at Brookvale more recently is certainly down on what it used to be. But once upon a time, it was intimidating for the opposition to go there. I don't think clubs are frightened to go there anymore, but, I mean, those conditions on Friday night, I won't say they lent themselves to one side or the other, but he made the difference, really, didn't he, before he went off, Daly Cherry Evans. Yeah,
he certainly did. Now, you say the Roosters are going to be there come the business end of the year. So, do you think that Origin having their players not picked for to represent New South Wales and Origin is a big help for them?
Oh well, it's a help through this part of the year. Nobody would deny that. And yes, I suppose it gives Maloney and Pearce a little bit more time to focus on their combinations and to get it right, which obviously the New South Wales selectors didn't think they were getting it right, particularly in regard to Maloney. Yeah, but, we can't have it both ways. You either have Origin or you don't have Origin, and you have it the way it is, or perhaps you have it like Wayne Bennett has suggested, where you have 3 Wednesdays in a row. But I wonder with the game, as brutal as it is now, and as fast as it is now, you've only got to look at the injury list that both teams are going through at the moment. I don't know whether they could back up 3 Wednesdays in a row.
No, I don't think they could either. I mean, you've only got to look at the poor old Melbourne Storm. I mean, literally their seasons are in tatters if they lose those players.
Well, that's true too, but let's try and imagine that you have Origin 3 Wednesdays in a row. I wonder what the team will be in Team 3. So really it comes down to a battle of attrition over 3 matches, not just one. And I know Origin is a battle of attrition over 3 matches, but there's 3 weeks between each game for those star representative players to get themselves fit again. Now, that doesn't solve the punctuation mark that it puts in the competition. The bottom line is I don't know the answer, and I don't know anybody that does.
Well, Russell Crowe actually came out and just said, it's our showpiece of our game, and normally, when you run, because he's in the acting game, normally you put it, you put your best thing last. Maybe we could put it at the end of the football regulation season.
Yeah, look, that's another idea, but what Russell tends to forget, grand final teams, when the big one is over, and they do the lap of honour, they tend to let the hair down for a few weeks. That's point one. Point two, what Russell is also dismissing is international football. Now, every 4 years we have World Cup, and I think every 2 years we have 4 nations. So what do you do with them then? I'm talking about the rep players. What do you do then? Play 3 Origins after the grand final, and then put them on a plane and send them to England?
Yeah.
These people like Russell Crowe and Wayne Bennett, they mean well, and so does Ray Warren, but I don't know the answer. It's almost like you can't have your cake and eat it too.
Yeah, it's a little bit hard to put a square peg through a round hole.
Something like that.
Yeah, yeah. In all the years you've been involved with this caper, you're looking at the NRL and that sort of stuff, and there's one thing I love about the 2014 table is you've only got to look down, I think it's like 1 to 10, and there's literally 4 competition points separating 1 to 10, and the most of it's just on for and against. Do you think that's a really good thing, that rugby league's in a really healthy place, particularly the NRL, that it's all basically just so close at the moment?
Well, it's close at the moment, but it's no use me talking to you and telling you lies. I think this competition really comes down to the 2 teams that I mentioned. Throw Canterbury in, throw Manly in, and possibly Melbourne. But at the end of the day, there's 5 teams can win this competition. But what you're seeing there is a result of the salary cap. A lot of people bag the salary cap, and that's fine. Bag it if you want to. But if you want to finish up like English Premier League, or if you want to finish up like English Super League, where only 3 or 4 teams can win a competition, then get rid of the salary cap. But let me warn you, you'll probably only have about 8 teams that viably can compete in the checkbook market. That's the problem with getting rid of the salary cap, because there's just not enough money to go around. So what you're seeing with the table, the way it is at the moment, is pretty much brought about by the fact that the salary cap's major purpose was to give competitive balance to the competition.
Yeah, and it's also very, very hard to pick if you're in a footy tipping competition as well.
Well, that's your problem.
Yeah. Well, I think that's the exciting part about it.
No, I understand that. I mean, everybody's in a tipping competition. That's great, and they scratch their head one day and they say, well, hang on a moment. I think it was the Roosters beat Parramatta by 50 or something, and then they played again 3 weeks later and Parramatta beat the Roosters. So
they certainly did. Yeah.
How do you work it out? The answer's a pineapple, isn't it?
Yeah, you can't work it out. All right, now here we are coming Wednesday night back to ANZ Stadium. Now, last time I spoke to you, you said to me that Game 1 was the best game of Origin you've ever called. You've seen the teams for Queensland and New South Wales for Game 2. If you look into your crystal ball, what do you think is going to happen?
Oh, look! It's so difficult because I don't know who's going to play and who's not going to play. And we're not talking about just everyday footballers. We're talking about Greg Inglis. We're talking about Billy Slater. We're talking about Daly Cherry Evans. We're even talking Jared Hayne, I noticed this morning. But I don't know who's going to play and who's not going to play. So it's far too early to have a point of view. Let me just say that given what I saw in Queensland, it's going to be a lot easier for New South Wales with 84,000 people. With 90% of them cheering for New South Wales, it's going to be a lot more comfortable for them, particularly the 6 and the 7. They're going to feel much more at home. So will Daniel Tupou playing on the flank and in his second match. It's just going to be a much more comfortable atmosphere. It's all very well to say, they get their chance this year. Yes, they do. They get a golden opportunity, and it's there to be taken. But 2 of our stars were the Morris twins, and it's significant that they're both tries, Queensland, came down that side with Inglis and Boyd. So if Inglis is out, if he's out, I'm not saying if he's playing fullback. If he plays fullback, we've got awful troubles. But if he's out of the match completely, then I would absolutely tip New South Wales.
All right, looking forward to it. Do you think we can do the ratings like you did last time?
Sorry?
Do you think you'll get the same result with the ratings, the TV ratings?
Oh, I think so. Yeah, I think so. Everybody's interested in this one.
Yeah, no, it's going to be fantastic. Really looking forward to it.
Yeah. This is the big dance. This is the big dance.
It's huge. Thank you very much for your time, mate. We love talking to you.
Okay, nice to talk to you again.
Thanks to Avro Meadowland. That's the voice of rugby league. Ramsey Warren's joining us this afternoon.
Okay, mate.
Thanks.